You know what amazes me most about success? It's not the mansions, the cars, or the achievements that line people's walls. It's that moment, that exact moment when someone decides to stop waiting and start doing. I see it right here in this room. I see it in your eyes. Just last week I met Sarah, a single mother working 2 jobs. Every morning at 4:30 a.m. before her kids wake up, before the sun rises, she sits at her kitchen table with a notepad and a dream. She's building her business one small step at a time. Nobody asked her to do it. Nobody's going to do it for her. She simply decided that enough was enough. Sarah isn't special because she's doing this. She's special because she stopped waiting for permission. She stopped waiting for the perfect moment. She stopped waiting for someone else to hand her success on a silver platter. And that's exactly why you're here today. Deep down, you know something needs to change. You feel it in your gut. That restless feeling keeping you up at night, that's your potential screaming to break free. Look at your hands for a moment. Go ahead, really look at them. These are the tools you were given to build your future, not your parents' connections, not your boss's approval, not some lucky break that might come tomorrow. These hands, your mind, your time, that's all you need. I've spent years studying success. I've interviewed countless high achievers, from CEOs to Olympic athletes, want to know the one thing they all have in common. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence. It's the bone-deep understanding that nobody, absolutely nobody, is coming to save them. When was the last time opportunity knocked on your door and said, hey, here's everything you've ever wanted? Never happened, right? And it never will, because that's not how life works. Right now, in this very moment, you have a choice to make. Actually, you're making it whether you realize it or not. Every minute you spend waiting for someone else to make your life better is a minute wasted. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and your dreams. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to make you get good. Get good at taking responsibility. Get good at taking action. Get good at being the person who does instead of the person who dreams. You know what the most dangerous words in the English language are? Someone should give me a chance. Someone should recognize my talent. Someone should make this easier. These words are dream killers. They're success preventers. And starting right now, we're eliminating them from your vocabulary. The harsh, beautiful truth that can change your life starting to everything you want, everything you dream about, everything you deserve, it's all on you. Not your circumstances, not the economy, not your past, you. Some of you might be thinking, but I've tried before. I've failed before. Good. That means you're ahead of the game, because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. The only real failure is waiting for someone else to make your dreams come true. Remember Sarah? She didn't start with any advantages. She started with a decision that changed everything. And that's exactly where your journey begins too. You know what Sarah told me next? She said, I wasted 10 years waiting for the right time. 10 years. That's 3,650 days of waiting for permission, waiting for validation, waiting for someone else to give her the green light to start living her dreams. And she's not alone. Look around you. Our entire society has fallen into this trap of waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for more education, waiting for more money, waiting for more confidence. Waiting. The cost of waiting isn't just time. It's life itself. Every single day you spend waiting is a day someone else is out there building, creating, achieving. While you're waiting for the perfect moment, your competitors are imperfectly moving forward. While you're waiting for someone to discover your talent, others are out there showcasing theirs. I meet people every day who tell me, I will start when the kids are older. I will start when I have more savings. I will start when I feel more ready. But here's the cold, hard truth, that perfect moment you're waiting for. It doesn't exist, it never has, and it never will. Every single second you spend waiting is compounding against you. It's like a negative investment. If you put $100 in a savings account, it grows over time. But when you put your dreams on hold, they don't grow, they shrink. Your energy shrinks, your motivation shrinks, your window of opportunity shrinks. You might be sitting there thinking, but I have responsibilities. I have bills to pay. I have people depending on me. Of course you do, everyone does. But those responsibilities aren't going anywhere. In fact, they're probably going to increase. So if not now, when? The most successful people I've ever met didn't wait until they had no responsibilities. They didn't wait until life got easier. They simply decided to stop using their responsibilities as excuses and start using them as fuel. What nobody tells you about waiting. It feels safe. It feels responsible. It feels like the mature thing to do. But it's a trap, a comfortable, cozy trap that will keep you stuck exactly where you are for the rest of your life. Every time you say, I will start tomorrow, you're not just postponing your success. You're actively choosing failure. Every time you say someone should help me, you're not just expressing a wish. You're giving away your power. Want to know the real reason most people wait? It's not lack of resources. It's not lack of time. It's not even lack of knowledge. It's fear. Fear dressed up as practicality. Fear masquerading as patience. Fear pretending to be wisdom. What's interesting about fear, it only has the power you give it. The moment you decide to act despite your fear, it starts to lose its grip. The moment you decide to stop waiting and start doing, something magical happens. The universe doesn't suddenly make things easier, but you become stronger. I'm going to tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. Your life right now is exactly what you've chosen it to be. Every day you've waited, every excuse you've made, every time you've said someone should, those were all choices. But here's the good news. If you've chosen this life through inaction, you can choose a different life through action. Starting right now, we're going to make a fundamental shift in how you think about waiting. From this moment forward, waiting isn't passive anymore. Waiting isn't safe anymore. Waiting is risk. Waiting is loss. Waiting's choosing to let your dreams die. A slow, comfortable death. The time between now and your success isn't waiting time, it's working time. It's building time. It's growing time. Every minute you spend waiting is a minute someone else is spending winning. And that brings us to the most important question you need to answer right now. What's that important question? It's simple but profound. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? Every morning when you look in the mirror, you're facing the person who has the most power to change your life. Not your boss, not your spouse, not your parents, not some mysterious force of luck or destiny. You, the person staring back at you in that mirror, is either your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. I've seen it thousands of times. People waiting for their boss to notice their hard work, waiting for their friends to support their dreams, waiting for the world to realize their value. But here's the reality that successful people understand. The world doesn't realize anything. You have to show it. Let me tell you about Michael. He came to me broke, frustrated, and angry at the world. He had a list of people who had let him down, a list of circumstances that weren't fair, a list of reasons why he couldn't succeed. You know what we did with that list? We tore it up. Because that list was nothing but a permission slip to fail. Here's what Michael did next, and it changed everything. He started making a different kind of list. Not excuses, actions, not complaints, solutions, not they should, but I will. Within 6 months, his entire life changed. Not because the world suddenly became fair, but because he finally took control of his destiny. There's a fundamental truth that most people never grasp. Your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. Think about excuses, you'll find them everywhere. Think about opportunities, they'll start appearing everywhere. Think about solutions, and suddenly problems become stepping stones. You have more power than you realize. You have the power to choose your thoughts, the power to choose your actions, the power to choose your responses to every single thing that happens to you. This isn't motivational fluff. This is the operating system of success. But here's the part nobody likes to talk about. With great power comes great responsibility. When you truly take control of your destiny, you can no longer blame anyone else for your results. No more my boss doesn't like me. No more the economy is bad. No more I didn't have the right opportunities. Taking control means taking complete responsibility. Complete, not partial. Not when it's convenient, not just for the good stuff. Complete responsibility for everything in your life. Your income, your responsibility, your relationships, your responsibility, your health, your responsibility, your happiness, your responsibility. This is where most people flinch. They want control without responsibility. They want success without accountability. They want results without risk. But life doesn't work that way. It never has and it never will. But looking for someone to blame and start looking for something to do. Stop waiting for perfect conditions and start working with what you have. Stop hoping for fewer problems and start developing more capability. You know what the most successful people do differently? They don't just accept responsibility, they embrace it. They don't see it as a burden, they see it as power. Because when you're responsible for everything in your life, you're also in control of everything in your life. Every time you blame someone else, you give away your power to change the situation. Every time you make an excuse, you're signing off on mediocrity. Every time you say, I can't, you're really saying, I choose not to. I want you to make a new choice. Choose to be the active force in your life, not a passive observer. Choose to be the solution, not the complaint. Choose to be the person who makes things happen, not the person who watches things happen. This isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about hoping things will get better. This is about deciding right here, right now, that your life is your responsibility and therefore your life is under your control. Remember Michael, his transformation wasn't magic. It wasn't luck, it wasn't even talent. It was a decision to stop being a victim and start being a victor, a decision to stop waiting for life to happen to him and start happening to life. And that's exactly where you are right now. At the crossroads of decision, you can keep waiting for someone else to take control of your destiny, or you can step up and take control yourself. You can keep making excuses, or you can start making progress. You can keep blaming circumstances, or you can start creating circumstances. The choice. And yes, it is a choice, is yours. But remember this, while you're deciding, life is happening. While you're contemplating, opportunities are passing. While you're hesitating, others are advancing. And that brings us to the next crucial element of taking control. That crucial element is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. It's the difference between someday and day one. It's your success formula, and yes, success is a formula, not a fantasy. Let me be crystal clear about something. Success leaves clues. Every single successful person I've studied, every achiever I've interviewed, every winner I've worked with follows the same basic formula. They might not realize it, but they do. If I handed you a combination lock with the correct combination written down, could you open it? Of course you could. Every single time, because when you have the right formula and you follow it exactly, you get the same results every single time. Success works exactly the same way. The combination is goals, actions, and disciplines. But here's the key, you need all three. Goals without action are just dreams. Action without goals is just busy work. And neither without daily discipline is just wasted potential. Goals, not wishes, not hopes, not vague ideas about what might be nice someday. Real, concrete, specific goals. The kind of goals that wake you up in the morning and keep you up at night. The kind of goals that make your heart beat faster. Your goals need to be so clear that if you woke me up at 3 and asked me what they were, I could tell you exactly. Not I want to be successful. What does that even mean? But I want to double my income to $120,000 by December 31st by acquiring 15 new clients through targeted networking and referral partnerships. That's a goal. Where most people go wrong, they think setting the goal is enough. They write it down, they put it on their vision board, and then they wait and wait and wait. But goals without action are like having a destination without a vehicle. You know where you want to go, but you'll never get there. This is where the action-oriented mindset comes in. Every single goal needs to be broken down into specific, measurable actions. If your goal is to double your income, what exactly are you going to do tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to move toward that goal? What about at 9 a.m.? What about during lunch? Success is not one big leap. It's 1,000 tiny steps taken consistently, persistently, relentlessly, every single day. That's where daily disciplines come in. These are the non-negotiables, the things you do whether you feel like it or not, whether it's convenient or not, whether it's easy or not. You want to know what separates the top performers from everyone else. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not even luck. It's their daily disciplines. It's what they do every single day, especially when no one is watching. I will give you an example. Remember Michael, when he started his transformation, he set 3 daily disciplines. Every morning he would read for 30 minutes about his industry. Every day he would make 5 new business connections. Every evening he would review his goals and plan the next day. Small things, simple things, but he did them every single day without fail. Within 6 months, those small daily disciplines had compounded into massive results. His knowledge had expanded exponentially. His network had grown by hundreds of valuable connections. His clarity and focus had reached levels he never thought possible. This is the power of the success formula. When you combine clear, specific goals with consistent, focused action and unwavering daily disciplines, success becomes inevitable. Not easy, not quick, but inevitable. What you need to understand, your daily disciplines create your destiny. What you do consistently today shapes who you become tomorrow. Every single action either moves you toward your goals or away from them. There is no neutral ground. Starting right now, I want you to think about your daily disciplines. What are the non-negotiables that will move you toward your goals? What are the actions you need to take every single day without fail? What are the habits you need to build that will make success inevitable? Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Discipline is power. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Your success formula is waiting for you to use it. The combination is there. Goals that inspire you, actions that move you, disciplines that shape you. But like any formula, it only works if you work it. Every day, without exception, without excuses. Success. It's available to anyone who will pay the price, and the price is paid in daily installments of discipline, focus, and consistent action toward clearly defined goals. The question isn't whether this formula works. It always works. The question is will you work it? Will you pay the price? Will you develop the disciplines? Because if you will you work it? That's where the real battle begins. Because the moment you commit to that success formula, something interesting happens. A voice inside your head starts talking. You know that voice. It's the one that says, who do you think you are? What if you fail? What will people think? That voice. It's not your friend. It's not your conscience. It's not your wisdom. It's your fear talking. And here's something crucial you need to understand about fear. It's not trying to protect you. It's trying to limit you. I remember sitting with a top executive. Let's call him David. He was making 7 figures running a global team, and yet he confided in me that every morning he still battles that voice. The difference, he's learned to recognize that voice for what it really is, resistance, internal resistance, the natural force that pushes back against every attempt to grow, to change, to succeed. Self-doubt isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's often a sign that you're doing something right. It's a sign that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone, stretching beyond your current capabilities, reaching for something more. Every time you try to make a positive change in your life, you're going to face resistance. Every time you set a bigger goal, you're going to feel fear. Every time you attempt something new, you're going to experience self-doubt. This isn't a flaw in your character. It's a feature of human nature. Where mental toughness comes in. Mental toughness isn't about not feeling fear. It's about feeling the fear and taking action anyway. It's about acknowledging the self-doubt but not letting it make your decisions. It's about recognizing the resistance but pushing through it anyway. David told me something profound. He said, I used to think successful people didn't feel afraid. Now I realize they just learned to use their fear as fuel. That's mental toughness in action. That's turning your greatest opponent into your strongest ally. Your comfort zone is like a muscle. It only grows when you stretch it. And yes, stretching is uncomfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're completely comfortable, you're not growing. If you're not feeling any resistance, you're not pushing hard enough. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can listen to that voice of fear and stay within your comfort zone, or you can acknowledge the fear and step beyond it. Every single day you can choose comfort or you can choose growth. But you cannot have both. The size of your success will be determined by the size of your comfort zone. Want bigger success? You need a bigger comfort zone. And the only way to expand your comfort zone is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Start small. Take one action every day that scares you a little. Make one phone call you've been avoiding. Have one conversation you've been postponing. Take one step toward that big goal that terrifies you. Small steps taken consistently build mental toughness. Every single person you admire, every successful individual you look up to faces the same fears you do. They have the same doubts, the same uncertainties, the same internal resistance. The difference, they've developed the mental toughness to act despite these feelings. Building mental toughness is like building any other muscle. It requires consistent training. It requires pushing past your current limits. It requires recovery and reflection. Most importantly, it requires understanding that discomfort is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Every time you push through fear, you get stronger. Every time you overcome self-doubt, you build confidence. Every time you expand your comfort zone, you create new possibilities. This is how you build mental toughness. This is how you develop the mindset of a winner. Mental toughness isn't about being tough all the time. It's about being tough when it matters. It's about pushing through when everything inside you is screaming to stop. It's about taking that next step when every fiber of your being wants to retreat. Whether you'll face internal resistance, you will. The question is, what will you do when you face it? Will you let it stop you? Or will you use it as a signal that you're on the right track? Because that resistance you're feeling right now, it's telling you exactly where you need to go. So let's talk about how to get there, because motivation without implementation is just entertainment. Right now, pull out your phone, open your calendar, look at tomorrow. What do you see? Meetings, appointments, other people's priorities? What successful people see when they look at their calendar? They see blocks of time dedicated to their most important goals. Time isn't just money. Time is life itself. And how you use the next 24 hours will determine where you'll be in the next 24 months. It's that simple, and it's that serious. What you're going to do starting tonight, before you go to bed, you're going to identify your 3 most important actions for tomorrow, not your 3 most urgent tasks, not your 3 easiest tasks. Your 3 most important actions that will move you closer to your goals. Those 3 actions get done before you open your email, before you check your messages, before the world has a chance to hijack your day with its emergencies. This isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about making sure your most productive hours are spent on your most important goals. Let me tell you about Robert. He was working 16 hours a day, constantly busy, constantly stressed, but making 0 progress toward his real goals. Want to know what changed everything for him? Time blocking. He started treating his important actions like non-negotiable appointments with himself. 7 to 9 became his power hours. During this time, his phone was off, his email was closed, and he focused solely on his most important goal-driven actions. No exceptions, no excuses, no distractions. Within 3 months, he had accomplished more than he had in the previous 3 years. But implementation isn't just about managing time. It's about tracking progress. Every single day, you need to measure your movement. Not once a week, not once a month, every single day, because what gets measured gets improved, and what gets improved gets results. Create a simple scorecard for yourself. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 questions. Did I complete my 3 most important actions? Did I move closer to my goals? What do I need to do differently tomorrow? This daily scorecard does 2 crucial things. First, it keeps you accountable to yourself. Second, it gives you immediate feedback on what's working and what isn't. Success leaves clues, but you have to be paying attention to spot them. Here's another powerful implementation strategy. The 15-minute rule. Every time you feel stuck, commit to working on your goal for just 15 minutes. That's it. 15 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 15 minutes. But here's what happens. Once you build that momentum, you'll often find yourself working way past those 15 minutes. Implementation isn't about perfection. It's about progression. It's about taking consistent, imperfect action toward your goals. It's about building momentum through small wins and learning from your setbacks. Track everything. Your actions, your results, your insights, your challenges. Use a simple notebook. Use your phone. Use whatever works for you. But track everything. Because 6 months from now, you'll look back at these notes and see patterns you never noticed before. You'll see exactly what led to your breakthroughs and exactly what caused your setbacks. The gap between knowing and doing is bridged by implementing. You can know everything about success. You can have all the motivation in the world, but without implementation, nothing changes. Your implementation strategy is your success insurance policy. It's the difference between hoping things will work out and making sure they work out. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And speaking of where you want to be, that place exists. It's real. It's waiting for you. But here's what you need to understand right now in this moment. That future you want, it's not going to come looking for you. You have to go out and create it. Remember Sarah, the single mother I told you about at the beginning? 3 years after that morning at her kitchen table, she built a 7-figure business. But that's not the real success story. The real success story is who she became in the process. The real success story is who her children got to watch their mother become. Last week, her daughter wrote her a note. It said, "Mom, thank you for showing me that nobody can stop me from achieving my dreams." Think about that. One person's decision to take control of their destiny didn't just change their life. It changed generations. That's what this is really about. This isn't just about your goals, your dreams, your success. This is about the ripple effect you create when you decide to stop waiting and start doing. This is about the lives you touch when you step into your power. This is about the example you set when you refused to let fear stop you. Right now, in this moment, you have a decision to make. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things get easier. Right now, you can walk out of here the same person you were when you walked in, or you can walk out of here as someone who finally decided to take control of their destiny. The tools are in your hands. The formula is in your mind. The power is in your decisions. Everything you need to succeed is already within you. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it? I want you to make me a promise. Not to me, to yourself. Promise yourself that starting right now, you'll stop waiting for someone else to make things happen. Promise yourself that starting right now, you'll stop making excuses and start making progress. Promise yourself that starting right now, you'll become the person you were meant to be. The absolute truth that can set you free if you let it. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody is going to do it for you. And that's not bad news. That's the best news you could ever receive, because it means your destiny is in your hands. It means your future is yours to create.